Remember, if your mind is struggling to sit for meditation, though it knows that it is fantastic, know that that is the exact way it should be. When I was young and I was doing sadhana, it's not that I don't do sadhana anymore, but when I was young, my guru took me to Himalayas. Himalayas, not in the, what we imagine, snow-clad mountains. He took me to some near place, and then I was meditating. Nice green, bushy, normal, small mountain ranges. We went there, and my guru made me meditate from morning 6 o'clock till evening 9 o'clock. So I was meditating, and after 9 o'clock, I came up, and then I was full heavy. I was feeling a deep meditative state. I was feeling very drowsy, because when you go into a deep turiya state, you feel, when you come out, you feel a kind of sleepy or a drowsiness. So I was feeling very drowsy. He said, break for the day. Now come back tomorrow 6 o'clock in the morning again. I had to walk down. And while I was walking down, I somehow came across a small, beautiful Sivalinga there. Now, generally in Himalayas, you don't get all the pomp and the build-up. You get a small temples, but fantastic energies. So I found the Sivalinga, and it was fantastic, phenomenal. So I was so attracted towards it that I went towards it and said, I want to sit and meditate here. But from the morning I'm meditating, my body is tired, I'm tired. Now if I sit again, my legs, they start aching, because I sat for a very long time. When you sit for a very long time, your legs ache. So my legs ache. What should I do? What should I do? So I was standing and trying to absorb and feel the energies. And after some time, I sat down with my legs spread, and slowly I folded one leg, and slowly I folded one leg. And the next moment, I know that I was meditating till around 4 o'clock in the morning. I got up, I quickly got ready, and then again ran to my guru, ready for the session. He said, how was your night? I said, actually I didn't sleep at all, because I found that Sivalinga very fantastic and fascinating. So I was not physically fit, but somehow it dragged me, somehow my body was resisting. I just said him this one line, my body is resisting, but my mind is getting attracted. Then he just smiled at me and said, that's the way it has to be. So I tell you the same. Your mind, sometimes, now your body will resist, your mind will be attracted. Sometimes your mind will resist, even though your mind knows it is good. So it's an internal tussle, fight between your own. Remember, they say, within you, there is a good wolf and a bad wolf, always fighting. Now, which wolf will win the battle is the wolf that you feed the most, they say. So in you there is good and there is bad. There is a passion to grow in your life. There is a passion or a want or a desire to be abundant in life. But there is enormous amount of status quo or coming back to your own originality of scarcity. So life is all a battle between your so-called perceived bad and the so-called perceived good. So mind will say, today I am not able to do the meditation, today I am not able to do this, I'm finding excuses, but I know if I do this it is good. Then it has to be the way. And then when you sit for meditation after fighting, then you are telling very clearly which wolf you are feeding the most. But again, if you listen to the excuse and say, okay, today I have so many excuses, so I will not do the meditation, then you are again explicitly telling your own self, you are feeding the bad wolf. Within you there is a good wolf and a bad wolf, continuously fighting. Which will win the battle? The wolf that I feed the most. Now, why they say wolf? Because wolf is a symbol for cunningness. You can't be cunning and logical without being intelligent. You have to be very purely intellectual. You have to be very high intellectual and ability to interpret and utilize the intelligence for your own benefit is technically called cunningness. Am I clear with you? So, in your life, you have two kinds of intelligence. An intelligence that is trying to make you stay where you are in your life. An intelligence that is trying to pull you into abundance. So, mind struggles, but it is you who have to feed the good wolf within you. And still meditate, because you know you are intrinsically born to succeed, because you are designed to succeed. This belief has to be expressed out within your life. This has to be manifested in your life, in your daily life, in your general life, in your very mind. If this has to be established, then fundamentally the tussle between your excuses and your liking towards the meditation has to continue. When you know why you need to meditate, and when you understand the absolute intrinsic process and the dynamism of meditation, or the dynamism, the dynamics, the entire process of this meditation, then that will help you very strongly decide that I have to meditate, no matter what excuses I find. Thereby you win the tussle and you manifest the reality. I am born to succeed because I am designed to succeed. Jai Gurudatta. Jai Gurudatta. Jai Jai Gurudatta.